And so before we start this video, I gotta get this mother humping thing out of the way. Mark Holmes is my daddy. Okay, that's out of the way. Ow!
What's up, good people and Eagle fans? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of. As well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, and I am having problems with my cameras today. Ever since we had the hurricane, the internet has been on and off so much. It's just been like cray-cray. So without further ado, don't forget about BetUS. My dad just called me for all his picks for tomorrow. Use the promo code YouTube150 so that way you can get 150% matching. His picks for tomorrow, he's taking the Rams +3 and the under at 49. Cowboys +3 and the over of 44. And he's going to take the over of 43 for the Commanders game. So definitely check out BetUS. And there I see, Walker Wade's joining us early. Troy, how you doing today, man? Troy, you're muted.
Just doing great. Just been relaxing today. Enjoying my day.
Well, you know, we've got Wade in here. I know Wade's going to be upset.
Wade,
I know Wade's upset because, you know, we're falling apart right now. It seems like on a daily basis right now, we've got somebody else that's getting injured. And so, reported just about 2 hours ago, Brandon Cooks is going on IR with the infection on his knee. And I said when I heard he had an infection in his knee, I've been down that road, and everybody's like, they're like, oh, you know, he'll probably just miss one game, maybe two. I'm like, infection in the knee, that ain't good, bro. And depending on the severity, who knows when you may see him. So now we have a lack of experience. We have Jalen Tolbert is the number 2. And let me see, how many yards? Does Jalen Tolbert have over 400 yards yet in his career?
He's getting close. If he hasn't already.
Let me look up Jalen Tolbert's stats. He has 440 yards in his career and 3 touchdowns. And he is your second most experienced receiver, I believe.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that?
Give or take.
We've got Jalen Brooks. How many picks? Let's see.
When is the trade deadline, Mark?
The 5th of November. But, you know, the Cowboys, you know, we're going to build from within. You know, that Fauntleroy, man, he's got Des Bryant stuff.
That's the thing. With injuries mounting, you know, if we do not make a single move before the trade deadline, that just automatically means it's a lame duck season.
Yeah. So Jalen Brooks has a total of 9 receptions in his career for 116 yards.
I mean, Jerry and Steven, they know we're in bad shape right now. Like,
you couldn't. You sure? They sure don't act like it. They sure don't act like it. I would think that this would be a sense of urgency of trying to do something that's, you know, something that's big.
You know, I've had the whole thing with Brian. You know, I mean, look, I've lived here in Dallas for like over 25 years. I know a lot of people say what they want to about Mike Fisher. He's been pretty accurate over the years and what he says. And he said this is a lame duck year. They're revamping the whole roster the next 2 years.
Well, some of it you can. Some of you have to.
I mean,
okay. Let's go through it here, Wade. Okay, so D-Law, we know he's old, and
what was I going to say? Brian said, "Oh, how are they going to blow it up?" Well, look, if we don't make the playoffs this year, there's at least going to be 50% roster turnover next year, and the whole coaching staff could be different.
But Wade,
that's a blow up.
Wade, we have 25 guys that go every year. That's almost half the roster to begin with. we know who's not going to go.
So
Okay.
if
Well,
you
here's
lose half your roster and most of your coaching staff in one season, that's a blow up.
Did we say? Did you say it was a blow up when we got rid of Jason Garrett?
No, the team was stacked still.
Was it?
Team was pretty solid.
Well, we've gotten rid of pretty much everybody from that, just about.
I mean, we don't really have any wide receivers besides CeeDee Lamb. We don't have running backs. I'm pretty sure all the linebackers will be gone this offseason after this year. We're going to have to get more defensive linemen. Like, we got holes all over the place.
Okay, but you act like we're getting rid. Okay, so to me, you're saying getting rid of half of the roster. Okay, when you talk about the defensive line, there's nobody left on the defensive line that you look at and say that that's like a tradable person. But people you're talking about are people that are just going to get cut. To me, blowing it up is, we're trying to trade people, get draft picks.
The reason why
like
they didn't get rid of Dak is because literally Trey Lance got Dak another contract.
Yeah, but no.
I think they wanted Trey Lance to succeed.
Here's what you don't get. You don't get the game though, Wade.
But he failed.
Wade, you don't get the game.
About what?
Think about the time that Dak Prescott has been with the Cowboys, and we haven't won shit. You know what always happens? We're always competitive with him, and he is the lightning rod for the Joneses. Here it is. We win a game, and he still gets blamed.
What was the trade for Lance for?
Oh, well, they were hoping to get lightning in a bottle, but still, you got to realize.
That's what I'm saying. Like they were hoping
Dak is
Trey
the golden
Lance was
goose.
Going to supersede Dak. I mean, they were hoping that was going to happen. It didn't happen, obviously.
I'm sitting here listening to, but wait, I'm sitting here listening to the shows and everything else, and you go in here and you look at this and say your number 2 receiver is gone right now. You got 2 rookie offensive linemen that are starting. One's playing pretty good. One is a penalty sack machine at the moment. Okay, you've got another guy that you signed for a boatload of money that's really not playing well in Terrence Steele, and you've got your next 2 wide receivers, or should I say your next 3 receivers, have 550 yards combined. Your running game is the worst in football, but guess what? Everybody talks about Dak Prescott. Everybody.
No, Dak ain't the problem.
No. But listen, you would read my chats. Read my chats in game. Yep, here we go. Dak Prescott, he losing another one. He's a choker. And you look at all of this shit that goes back to who? Jerry Jones. You brought back Zeke, who's under 100 yards on the year, and said, our running game, it's okay. And you won't even bring up Dalvin Cook. At this moment, it looks like they're trying to tank to get picks.
So, yeah, and Mike Fisher said, and it's true, though, name one guy on the roster the Cowboys brought in 30 years or older and signed them to a multi-year contract.
But they never do.
They didn't do that this season. That's why they didn't want to do that this season. That's why they didn't go get Derrick Henry. They don't want to sign guys who's 30 years or older to multi-year deals. That's why they didn't bring back Gilmore.
Yeah, but
he wanted a multi-year contract. They said
but
no.
They don't. But this isn't new though, Wade. If they were just starting to do this now, then I'd say, okay, I see what you're doing. But they do these 1-year deals. If you happen to be lightning in a bottle, then they'll give you another deal. That's what they did with Malik Hooker.
Yeah, the issue with all the 1-year deals this year, we missed the playoffs, then you'll have everyone gone with the 1-year deals and all the coaching staff with the 1-year deals left on their contracts.
Well, here's the other flip side of that.
And
typically
if
speaking,
Bill Belichick comes in, Mark, I'm not saying we're going to hire Bill Belichick, but let's just say he came in hypothetically. He'll change the defense to a 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4-3, whatever. He'll switch it up.
You want to get rid of those guys. And at this moment, if our defense doesn't play better than what they have, I don't have a problem.
Micah Parsons would be better in that style of defense, to be honest with you. But
well,
what are the real chances though that we're going to get Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick might be hired before the season's over by somebody. By the Eagles or the Jaguars or somebody, because there's some teams with coaches on the hot seat right now too, besides the Cowboys. But I honestly, I'm sorry, I can't look at this and say, Mike McCarthy, you are to blame, and a new coach is going to change anything until the Joneses change what they're doing.
Like
Well,
that's the whole thing.
That's it. Does
The Green Bay loss changed everything, Mark.
it did. It did.
Then you know what?
Now the question.
I agree.
Then
It
becomes,
changed everything, but it didn't change the Joneses, which is the biggest thing you need to change.
It did change the Joneses in the aspect of they're not. Remember how they at least they signed, bro. They really ain't signing no one. They really ain't signing no one. I mean, dude, they're not extending any of the coaches, bro. If we do not make the playoffs, they're gonna blow the coaching staff up. I'm telling you.
But
Yeah,
here's the
I agree
problem with
with
that. I agree. They'll do that. But
This
see,
team
the
could
thing
look
is,
totally different next season, especially if you got a new coaching staff bringing in new everything.
yeah.
Well,
true.
let me ask
Well, I
this,
tell you two
Phil.
things that they won't be bringing in new will be a quarterback and that wide receiver.
Exactly.
No, they
Okay.
won't. Yeah,
Okay, you're married to that. I know they won't be bringing in a new
there's some
left guard.
foundational pieces we got. You know,
So if
the
if,
Tyler
if,
Smiths, the Daks, the CD Lambs, the
Well, but here's
You
the
know.
thing.
that is
though.
the case, then
But who on this? Okay, I understand what you're saying, but you act like there are people that we can't afford to move on from.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Doc Walker says, I can lose without you. If I was losing with you, I can continue to lose without you. And at the moment, you got guys that can't stop the run. So, get me some guys in here that are going to do better. That's fine. My issue is it sounds great to say, let's get a new coach, but if you don't deal with the underlying problem, it's still going to be the same result. If the Joneses refused, literally, Brandon Cooks, there's been a problem since training camp. You haven't heard about it, but he missed a lot of time in training camp, and he left and went back to Dallas a week before they broke camp for undisclosed reason. They said, he's going.
They've dragged their ass this year on a lot of stuff.
They drag their ass every year. We didn't have any
it's
linebackers
fine.
last year at training camp. When Overshown went down, all we had was Van Der Esch that we know was made of glass. That's when they should have been looking for a linebacker. This is nothing new.
Yeah, but we really haven't had any world beaters at linebacker since Sean Lee. I almost feel
And
like
guess
they don't
what?
believe
They ain't
linebacker
looking for it
plays
either.
important. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they feel like linebacker plays important, which that's ridiculous. I mean, that's what it feels like.
Like I said, I can't understand here the whole idea of Jerry saying, Dak's got to do more with less. CeeDee Lamb's got to get more balls when that's counterintuitive to winning.
I mean, and is Jerry really cheap though? Honestly, he gave Dak the $60 million deal. He made CeeDee Lamb. He paid CeeDee Lamb.
But see, that's
when Troy
when
Aikman's contract came up, he made him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but he put players around.
I mean, you can go down the line. He is like paid the shit out of people before.
Yes,
Paid for players.
Yes, but guess what though? With Troy Aikman, they kept trying to put more talent around him.
yeah,
They went out and they got a Dion. They went out and got a Charles Haley. You know what I'm saying? They kept trying to get premier players. We don't. We literally go down and have guys that have no NFL experience and say, we're good. That's what we're going into this weekend.
Well, Marcus Spears was talking about that. The last time Jerry did that, Mark, was the 2006, 7, 8 Cowboys. Jerry was at the helm. This is before
Yes,
Will
it
McClay.
was.
Look at all the moves he made. Dude, he brought in Leonard Davis, Terrell Owens. He went out and brought in so many players and signed them. And the team was good enough, but it failed. And I think after that, it just kind of like, I don't think I could win by doing this. We'll try something else. And obviously the other way's not working.
We're talking about 2006. Well, we're here in 2024.
Yeah, I know, but that's when Will McClay came in and Steven started taking over.
You know, the thing that kills me is, and Texas Ranger just said, they can't afford it, laugh out loud. I am so sick and tired of hearing about.
Oh, they can afford it. They're just bullshitting us. They can afford it. They just don't want to do it.
So let's just agree that they've set this season up to clean house in coaching.
This is a lame duck year.
It is.
But
agree.
again,
If they do not make a trade by the trade deadline, I'm sorry, it's a lame duck year, people. It's a
I
lame
agree.
duck season.
Well,
Yep.
yeah. But again, that sounds great. I mean, that's the red meat for people. But unless they change their mentality, you still have to have the talent to win. You look at Bill Belichick after Tom Brady went. They just continued to go downhill. He did not win without having talent. And you can't look at our team and say, right now, as currently constructed, the way we are going about business, that with the 32nd best running game, that Bill Belichick's going to be able to do anything better than what we're doing right now. I'm sorry. You know, I love Zeke, but Zeke ain't the answer anymore.
No.
I love CD, and that's great. But when you're putting Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, and Fauntleroy, and you've got less than 600 yards in receptions between all three of them, you ain't about trying to win any games.
So if they don't do any, okay, so they don't do anything this year, 2025 happens. There's a lot of cap room. You know, if they don't do any, that's the thing though. This year, it is what it is. They do it with all the cap room. And if we don't make the playoffs this year, and we have a high draft picks throughout the draft, and they do not go out in the offseason and get people, then all hope is lost for me.
Well, that's the thing.
All hope is lost.
If you're if the Joneses were saying,
because they're going to have a lot of cap room next year.
right, if you're telling me, here's our plan, we are going to go ahead and we're going to play the players we have, find out who can play, who can't, and next year we're actually going to go all in. We're going to take the cap room that we have. We're going to try and get the right coaches, the right kind of players, and that we're going to actually do something. Okay, I can buy into that. But if the whole thing of, Stephen Jones, where, we're right there and wins with Kansas City.
I would be fine with
our
that
ticket
next
sales,
season.
our ticket sales are as high as they've ever been. Then you do the exact same thing next year, bro. Then
no, if they do the exact same thing they did this year, next year, man, dude, I'm gonna be livid. I'll be like, no, I'll officially say they do not give a shit about winning if they do nothing next year.
Well, see, here's my thing with Dak Prescott. They realize getting a quarterback is hard. It's hard, okay? Because
that's why they signed Dak.
Right, and
they don't want to go through the bullshit.
Dak Prescott keeps you in enough games to give you hope and to keep those ticket sales going.
And people say, I give Dak a lot of shit. In 8 seasons, we have had 4 12-plus win seasons.
Yes.
With Dak.
And we've only had 2 other ones.
We had 4.
We've only had 2 other ones in the last 30 years besides Dak.
So we've had some teams. That's why, Jerry and them, they don't want to let him go because they don't want to deal with, we don't want to go through the whole Chad Hutchinson and Quincy Carter phase. I don't want to go through that shit again.
Especially, but here's where you're handicapping the poor guy. We are in the high 20s in separation right now, and that's when we had Brandon Cook. So
this feels almost similar to the 8-8 seasons, Mark. You remember after that kind of
it was all Tony Romo
fell apart.
Yeah, and it was always we're either going to win because of Tony Romo or we're going to lose because of Tony Romo.
This almost feels like that. Like Dak is essentially like the Tony Romo in the way, when he was kind of like in the wilderness, for them 3 years, when they were trying to rebuild the team around Romo, but then obviously he broke down before they did that.
His body fell apart.
But it almost seems similar to that because they started drafting linemen, which they did this year. They did that in 2011, 2010, 2012. They got Frederick, they got Tyron Smith, they got Martin. It almost seems they're doing the same thing over again.
Well, now I don't know what Zach Martin's going to do next year, if he's going to retire or not. But you could, people are ready to give up on Tyler Guyton right now. But Tyler Guyton, the biggest problem with him is is moves on the inside. You know, when they cut really hard across his face, that's where he's getting the holding penalties. And he is a rookie on an island by himself. And I'm going to say that given time, I think that
He's a
going to
rookie. I'm giving this whole season.
I'm going to give him some time.
Yeah, but I could see him being pretty good next year. I mean, Tyler Smith, is all world. And Cooper Beebe, the fact that he was going against Dexter Lawrence and didn't give up pressure last week, people don't give him credit on that one. But typically, Biotis would have been lifted up and dropped in Dak Prescott's lap about 3 or 4 times by a premier defensive, nose tackle. And so I look at him and say, I think we've got our Travis Frederick. I don't know if Zach Martin is going to stay for another year or two or whatever. The biggest worry on my mind next year will be Terrence Steele.
Yeah, Terrence Steele, man, he does not look right.
If the Cowboys sign another person to a long-term deal with an ACL tear, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't understand why they continue to sign long-term deals to guys coming back from ACL, just like we did with Michael Gallup. That was the dumbest shit that we did. You would have been better off paying Cedric Wilson and saying to Michael Gallup, we're going to pay you for a 1-year deal and see how you're going to do. And if he wants to walk, let him walk. But probably
I would have rather just put up with
or kept Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. It's just like we wouldn't be dealing with none of this shit.
Yeah, so today's a doom and gloom day. I'm sorry, everybody. It sounded like we're whiny little bitches here.
I mean, it's just reality because look, we've watched enough football. Everyone, we've watched enough football. We know what great teams and Super Bowl teams look like, and we know what teams going through turmoil look like. We are a team that is going through some turmoil right now.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, we didn't really have to be going through all this.
It's just reality of the thing. Hey, I want the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl more than anything, but I know when my team's having problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it starts from the top up there. From the whole, we're all in. How do you go from all in to we're going to do more with less? How can you fix your mouth to say both of those statements? And then try and turn around and say, Fauntleroy, he's got Dez Bryant stuff in him.
Well, let's find out.
So you're trying to sell me that everything's good, that it's better to go ahead and play these young guys than to go ahead and bite the bullet and try and get a quality wide receiver. Is that what you're telling me?
When are we supposed to get Bland back, supposedly?
He's eligible to come off of IR after 4 weeks, which was this week. So apparently he's not ready. That's where you have to go on for a minimum of 4 weeks. The other problem is the Cowboys had to make a couple of moves because of guys going on IR. You got to replace them. So they may be waiting until after that to be able to make a move to replace his
What do you think
spot.
about KJ Henry? Do you think he's going to hold?
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see on that one. At this moment, I have no clue about anything that they're doing. I have a feeling that the Cowboys are going to win tomorrow, which may be crazy.
Yeah, I do too.
I really feel like they're going to, the wagons are going to circle and everything else, and they're going to win. But I don't know. And if they don't, we're in trouble.
So do they have KJ Henry active tomorrow then?
I think
he is.
I think
or is he on the practice squad?
I think I don't know if they brought him up.
No, they did sign him. So he's on the 53 man. So yeah, he'll be used tomorrow.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, KJ is. Yeah, because they signed him to a 2-year deal.
That's right.
But
okay, I kind of like the signing, but
he just got here.
I know, that's the thing. He's got to learn the defense now. Let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he could plug it in. If he could plug that thing up the middle, because that's what we brought
Mark,
him
you
in
signed
to do.
free agents months ago. No, but actually, they signed him off a practice squad, so it wasn't a free agent. But there are free agents that are out there. But generally speaking, if you're a free agent right now, it's because you're not real good.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
Who
See,
else is still out there?
a ham
Don't say
sandwich?
it.
Uh-oh. You know it's getting bad now because Eagle fans are smelling blood in the water. Drew's in here now. Go Birds.
Drew's in now, yeah.
And, of course, we got Big Spank Dog who's,
Their franchise is in turmoil like ours too. They could be going through a lot of
the
changes
big question
themselves.
is will Nick Sirianni last longer than Mike McCarthy?
That's the thing. Who's going to go first?
Yeah, Big Spank Dog up in here. Y'all were in trouble. Washington with their 3 wins. Okay. Barely beating the New York stinking Giants.
I was going to say, who have they really beaten?
The Cardinals, Cincinnati,
really
and the Giants.
All teams that were last year.
John, I'm going to say, hold on. Okay, I want to explain something. I had an Eagle fan who tweeted at me today and said, Mark, stop by my porch and I'll give you 3 reasons to stop rooting for the Cowboys this year. And what I'm going to say is this. Football season takes so long to get here, right? We look for it for so long. And I'm going to say, I get it. We're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. We're not going to. I understand that. But I'm going to say,
Take a miracle.
watching the Cleveland Brown game and getting a victory, I enjoyed that thoroughly. Watching the Cowboys beat the Giants again and seeing Cop Pizzle losing his shit, I really enjoyed that. Now, every time the Cowboys get a win, it's a bonus in my life. Now, I don't know if that's going to be 4 times or 6 times or 8 or 10, 12 times this year. I'm going to at least take those wins and enjoy those. So, you're not going to get me to stop watching because there's a chance that we get a victory, and I really enjoyed it. This past week, watching the Eagles implode and going on the Dan Saleo show and listening to the Philly 500 Wine, for me, that was a great week.
Yes.
It was a great week. And if the Cowboys can beat the Eagles head up, hey, I'm going to have some fun with that. Will I be disappointed that we're not, going to go anywhere? Yeah, probably. But at least I'm going to enjoy the victories that I do get. Life's short. Enjoy what you can while you can. So that's my response there, my man, on, give up for the season. I'm not going to give up because it's crazy in football. I've seen the Indianapolis Colts have a defense that was 31st or 32nd, turn it on in the playoffs and go to a run and get Peyton Manning his first Super Bowl. Okay, I'm crazy.
I remember that.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe this defense mid-season, we weather the storm of all the bad games and maybe we find 2 victories out of that and we're not buried. And the Commanders find out that they're not really good. The Eagles, although they've got the 4th easiest schedule left, or is it the easiest schedule left? They play nobody.
Nobody the rest of the way.
Yeah, nobody except for us. So, they may have a chance to try and get right and make a run. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen this season? Maybe we'll find out some of these guys like Marshawn Nealon. Maybe find out he's pretty good. Maybe Golson gets an opportunity. Maybe, and this might sound crazy, but when I look at the teams that we face going forward are teams that run the football. And when I think about Micah Parsons' thing is not necessarily stopping the run. Typically, you can run at Micah Parsons, and he's just not big enough to hold up. Maybe we go at a different game plan where we're using our players, and maybe we end up playing better against the run. Am I crazy? Maybe.
Let's hope KJ Henry can help that out.
Right.
Starts tomorrow. I mean, they're going to be facing a good Najee Harris because what's his name? Warren Jalen is out, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Their best back is out.
And their offensive line, I think, is beat up too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Theirs is beat up just as much as ours is.
Mm-hmm.
Our defensive line. So it's going to be
Drew said we beat no one as usual.
As opposed to the Eagles that are, having a great season.
Drew, y'all ain't beating no one either. Wow, you beat New Orleans. Great. I'm so impressed. Oh, you beat the Packers. Great.
Yeah, how are the Packers doing right now?
They're doing pretty good.
I think, 3-1.
3-1.
I've been giving the Eagles an easy time. I'm about to start just ranting and raving on the Eagles. I
Give them
literally
hell,
hope that.
man.
I mean, damn. The more you lose, I'm just gonna give you all a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
I told you your quarterback sucks ass, and he does this year.
Mm-hmm. And your play caller,
I said
Kellen Moore.
that Jalen Hurts was gonna suck this year, and that's all he has done is played like garbage.
You know what's funny is how Leo is not showing up anymore. You notice that,
Yeah,
right?
he ain't showing up.
He ain't showing up. Before I was like, hey, man, come on my channel and stuff, man. Let's do something together. He ain't showing up no more. Bird section, or should we say bird stain? We will draft the top 5 in the top 5 or 7 in next year's draft. Okay, well, John, if we do, hey, okay, cool.
Whatever.
Go
get a wide receiver.
Here's what I do know. The Cowboys are usually pretty good, unlike the Eagles with first-round draft picks. So, maybe that's what we get. We get a stud. Or maybe somebody trades up and gives a boatload of picks. And take your tackle out. Twiz Digga, take your tackle out.
No. Oh, I know the Cowboys aren't that good this year, but you need to face the music yourself, Drew. The Eagles are a 500 mediocre team, and your quarterback sucks, and your coach is garbage.
And
How about you own that?
Okay, let's try and make ourselves feel a little bit better here, Wade. Who would you rather be with us? With us, who we've got all of our these guys that are on 1 year
quarterback.
Oh, but hold on. Let's think about this for a second. Think about all the guys that we have that we can get rid of without any pain that are on 1 year's deals. How about the Eagles, which were a few months ago bragging about how they got everybody under contract long term? Think about that.
Yep.
They got a whole lot of guys that aren't producing right now that are under contract for a long time.
I'm telling you, hey, Mark, the Eagles are going to implode this year. I'm telling you. Just like they imploded last year, they're going to implode. I didn't say the Cowboys are going to Super Bowl, but I said Jalen Hurts sucks, and that's all he has done is played like garbage.
Oh, hold on, Brad, right? You're wrong on that one, because here's what's funny. Because now the first 2 games of the season, understand, Mozzie Smith has only started 4 games in his career. First 2 games of the season, he got nothing. Tackles, hits, assists, and all that. The last 2 games, he has gotten 5 solo tackles, a tackle for a loss, 6 total tackles, and I believe a quarterback pressure, which is almost identical to Jordan Davis. Brad? So if you're saying Mozzie's a bust, who we only gave up 1 pick late in the first round, and you moved up with multiple picks to get Jordan Davis, who's in his 3rd year? Who's the bust?
3rd year.
Who's the bust? Crickets. Only one NFC team will make the playoffs in the NFC. That's going to be Washington. I hate to tell y'all are sitting here sucking on the Washington teat here. They have yet to play anybody yet. Remember, they couldn't score a touchdown against the Giants. So I'm not ready to anoint them just yet. Vic scheme blows. It's funny that you guys are talking about how Vic schemes blows now. Y'all were talking about Drew.
You're right. Hold on. Drew, you're right. You did say our team wasn't going to be that good, but quarterback was going to be garbage, and that's what he is this year. And you also said your team was going to be damn good, Drew. How's that going for you? You're a 500 football team.
Especially since y'all went out and got – wait, look at – hold on, Drew. Listen, Devin White. Y'all were like, oh, we got Devin White. Oh, we got Saquon. You made the trade for Dotson. And, damn, what's his name? The defensive end. Damn. Fuck. They signed from the Jet. Huff. Yeah, Huff and Puff. Yeah, you were like, oh, our defense is going to be great with Nick Fangio. And y'all went out and actually tried to do something. We didn't do shit. We signed our receiver 2 weeks before the season.
Mm-hmm.
And we signed our quarterback season opening day.
Day of, yeah.
Season opening day, okay? You could look and say, oh, okay. But y'all went out there and did all those moves. Y'all got all those deals done, all your players all happy and everything else. And here we sit. I can't say that your team is better than mine.
Hold up. I don't care how good Jalen is. Dude, he gives out he's cooking apple turnovers for everyone. That's all he's
Mahomes
doing.
also has 5 interceptions on the season, too. So
Yeah,
at the
he does.
moment, and him and Kelsey aren't vibing real good. So I'm not sure that you could look at – because here's what they did, Drew.
You're not a good quarterback if you can't take care of the football. You can't put your team in bad situations. That is not good quarterback play.
ESPN was comparing Justin Fields' numbers to Pat Mahomes this year. Are we going to say that Justin Fields is just as good as Pat Mahomes? Is that where we are? I guarantee you 32 out of 32 NFL teams would take Mahomes over Justin Fields every time.
Jalen Hurts.
You
said Justin Fields.
No, what I'm saying is ESPN today was comparing. They were saying that Justin Fields' numbers are identical to Pat Mahomes with less interceptions, but they weren't putting down touchdown passes though.
Oh, yeah,
they were going through completion percentage.
Jalen Hurts' numbers are comparable to Mahomes.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, are you trying to
hold up? So is Dax. Well, yeah. So is Dax and all them wins Dax been stacking up. So how about we talk about that?
Without having a running game whatsoever.
Throw up Dak's numbers with Mahomes. They had Dak on par with Mahomes as far as wins the last 4 seasons.
Yep. There you go.
Not your quarterback.
Wow, Marcus Blackman says you can make the case that Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts are comparable. Wow. Yeah. I see we got Ginger in the house. Ginger coming back, licking her wounds from the game Monday night. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See if they rebound. It's Seattle versus, is it the Rams in Seattle?
Yeah. In Los Angeles, I believe.
In Los Angeles.
Wait, for what? For which?
Sunday's game.
Yeah, your game.
No, we got the Giants.
Oh, shit. You got a bye week. No.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. We had this game, and then we have the Giants, and then we have Thursday night against San Fran.
I thought you guys were facing the Rams this week.
No.
Oh, okay.
Digga, I'm going to have to say, we may have to change the narrative on Kirk Cousins.
I mean, Kirk Cousins playing better than Jalen Hurts. Shit. I'd take Kirk Cousins over Jalen Hurts any day of the week right now. Okay. Sorry.
Because Kirk Cousins has now won 2 primetime games this year. And that 509 yards and 4 TDs, shit.
Wait, he was making throws that Jalen Hurts could only dream of the other night.
He couldn't even dream of that. Okay. He couldn't even dream of that shit, man. Okay, Mark. So, Mark, avoiding Super Bowl defensive conversation. Who said that we had a Super Bowl? I didn't say we had a Super Bowl defense.
I said our defense would be way more solid under Mike Zimmer. Obviously, that ain't happened.
This may be a case of it's still too new that they haven't caught on to it right now. It took some time
Either
last year.
Either too new or we don't got the players, one or the other.
And probably and since we're losing players left and right, I mean, Micah, D-Law.
I mean, what? I mean, Mike Zimmer can only do so much if we ain't got no defense.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
ain't got no player.
Howie's lost his magic. I think that might be more of the case right there for the Eagles. He's got 1 hit this year. And Saquon can get injured at any time, even if Kirk stays in Minnesota.
Don't the Eagles play Kirk Cousins this year in the Falcons?
They already lost to him.
The Falcons. Oh, you're right. They did.
Yeah, they lost to the Falcons in prime time.
And Kirk Cousins busted y'all up in prime time.
And they're sitting there busting on Kirk Cousins. Okay.
You're right. That's right. I was at an Eagles bar watching all the Eagles fans walk out pissed off. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, to Kirk
Yes.
Cousins.
I remember Kirk Cousins outplayed your quarterback, Eagles fans. I remember. Y'all walked out of that bar all sad and depressed, and I had just a smile on my face. I had a shit-eating grin on my face, literally.
Yep. Well, Drew, you got me there. You got me with the Mike Zimmer one, at least for the moment.
Yes, I was wrong about Mike Zimmer, the whole thing, too. Yes, I will admit. Yeah, that was a stretch.
But I'm not ready to give up on that just yet. But I will say the Kellen Moore and the Nick Sirianni thing,
That's not working.
that. Ooh. But I told you that Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts, that's water and oil trying to mix right there. Linda in the house, how you doing today, Linda? Hope you're feeling better. Linda's getting over COVID.
Ooh, that's not good.
Mike Zimmer can adjust, and we can
How
hope he
does
does.
Dak and Kirk do in the playoffs? Well, they haven't won Super Bowls, Drew. Your quarterback hasn't either. So
His quarterback's
remember,
2-3.
no one remembers teams that lose Super Bowls. Unless you're just the Buffalo Bills going to 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Randy, I think Brandon Cook just washed. Let others have a chance. Randy, I might be with you on that one, but at least he had experience. Shout out to Randy Seitz, because right now we have no experience whatsoever, and the Joneses don't seem to be worried about that. Because Fauntleroy, he's got that Dez Bryant stuff in him. I'm going to say this year is the first year that I finally had it up to here with Jerry. I honestly, usually I'll try and see through it and, try and understand that maybe there's a plan. Right now, I'm just like, I don't even want to hear him talk anymore.
All this stuff about him comparing, all this about him trying to compare this guy to Devin. He trying to compare him to,
To Dez Bryant.
Yeah, to Dez Bryant. I want to see what my very own 54-year-old, 56-year-old eyes. I want to see it for myself because, as you know, we all know Jerry Jones. He's known for selling false hope.
Oh yeah, he's a snake oil salesman.
And I want to see it for myself. And if this is false hope that we're going to see, I'm going to be like Jerry. Kiss your own 82-year-old wrinkled ass.
Here's where
move on.
Listen to the comparables right now. So we were in this same position 2 years ago after getting rid of Amari Cooper and letting Cedric Wilson go. We started the season with Noah Brown and Dennis Houston and CeeDee Lamb going into the second year. And we had problems with receivers, right? So October 30th, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said the team has received calls from teams offering wide receiver help. We'll just see. We will see. He likes his 4 tight ends and what Jalen Tolbert has shown. And James Washington is nearing a return. We don't have to do anything, but if it's right, we'll do something. So in the meantime, Jalen Tolbert has 440 yards in his career. James Washington played 3 plays, and that's it. And of our tight ends, 2 of the tight ends that he really liked what he saw are no longer on the roster. And Dalton Schultz and Hendershot. So here we are. I can't wait to see Fauntleroy out there. He's got the Dez Bryant in him. You mean the 6th-round draft pick that was so good that he stayed on the practice squad? You can't wait to see that guy? Then why didn't you bring him up sooner?
crazy.
Crickets.
Crickets,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, with that in mind, who are they going to bring in as far as coaching for next year? Then
It doesn't
we
matter.
said Bill Belichick. Who else
it
is
ain't
out
gonna
there?
it ain't gonna be Bill. It ain't gonna be Bill Belichick. I don't try to tell everybody. It ain't gonna be Bill Belichick for one reason. It ain't gonna be Bill Belichick because Bill Belichick, when he get in Jerry Jones' office, he gonna do this number. He gonna be like, I got 8 rings, ho. I'm not kissing your ass. You should be kissing my ass. I
Well,
got 8 rings.
can you see?
6.
Could you see Bill Belichick with Micah Parsons' podcast?
Oh, that wouldn't be going on anymore.
Yeah, Bill Belichick, he gonna be like, man, I got 8 rings.
But then
man,
again, but hold on. Okay, I'm gonna say something crazy though, and this goes back to Walker Wade. That this is a rebuild. Thus far, with what you've seen with Micah Parsons this year, between the blow up with Malik Hooker, and you think about how he's thrown people under the bus, and the podcast with Big Play Slay and all that kind of stuff, and now being injured, the Cowboys may have second thoughts about the big contract. But I believe that everybody figure, oh, well, they got to pay Micah. Nobody gets paid. Everybody plays on that 5th-year option or that franchise tag.
right.
So why do we all of a sudden think that Jerry's going to be in a hurry to pay Micah and not play him on that 5th-year option?
They
Right.
Or, maybe they say, you know what? Maybe we trade him.
Yep.
Don't let the Cowboys defense play well, stopping the run the next few weeks while he's out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, if you let him go, what do you get? What do you get for him?
I'm hoping that you're trading getting a couple number ones for him. I mean, you're talking about what was the Khalil Mack trade? How much was that all?
I think there was a 1 and 2 threes, if I remember, wasn't it?
Talking about when Chicago traded him to Los Angeles.
No, when the Raiders trade, wasn't he with the Raiders first?
Yeah, he was with the Raiders first.
And he got traded to the Bears.
Yeah, and he had just won a depoy. He just won a defensive MVP when he was straight to Chicago.
I think the Chargers are trying to trade him now, aren't they?
Think so. I think so.
And see, this is where okay. To know the D-Law is gone for 2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And, he's getting long in the tooth. Know that Micah Parsons is going to be gone, at least a week or two. High ankle sprains, they linger.
Yep.
To know that your defensive front has not been real good, to not try and do something on that other than KJ Henry, and now to know that you've got one receiver. You got one receiver. Let's be clear here. You got one freaking receiver, and you've got the worst running game in football. And you're not making a single move?
That's what's stupid. I'd like to see him make a move for Khalil. I mean, shore up that middle.
Yep.
And maybe even trade for a mid-level wide receiver. I mean, you don't have to necessarily go after Devontae Adams.
Right. You don't have to really have to, chase after that sexy name.
No, you don't. I mean, there's still some good ones out there that you could possibly trade for.
And here's the other one that's still I don't understand. Okay, we got the trade deadline 1 month from today. Okay? Why aren't you at least finding out if Dalvin Cook can at least play or not? To see if, maybe he's an answer and we're good, or he's not,
Right.
and maybe we might need to try and pick up somebody else.
Here's my take on that one. I think they just brought him in to see how many other teams might go after him.
Yeah, he's probably trade Trade bait.
He's
No,
probably
but
trade bait,
Somebody could sign him off our practice squad.
and that's what's stupid. Why, I think that's why he was brought in, to see if somebody would take him off of our practice squad. I don't think they're going to give him a chance. I really wish they would. Heck, make Zeke inactive for 1 week. Bring in Dalvin. Let him show you what he's got. If he doesn't got nothing, put him back on the practice squad. Reactivate Zeke for the following week.
Mm-hmm.
No harm, no foul. That's what's stupid. They're not
Either that, or put somebody like Rico on the practice squad.
I don't think you're going to put Rico on the practice squad.
I don't know.
I think you've got to make Zeke inactive 1 week. Bring Cook up. Let him see what he's got. If he's got anything.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, put him back on the practice squad or release his butt and find somebody else that's out there.
Yeah. Like you said, none of this stuff makes any sense whatsoever.
It doesn't.
And that's what's stupid. You try to make sense of what they're doing, you're not going to. There's no way in hell you're going to.
You know, the worst thing will be is... See, here's the problem. They keep doing this same stuff. This isn't any different than what they did, like I said, 2 years ago. And somehow the Cowboys are good enough to get 12 wins and make the playoffs and everything else. And then they can pat themselves on the back, do a circle jerk and everything else and say, we're right there with Kansas City, in production. Watch, that ends up being the case this year. It ends up being... Watch, we'll win 10 games or some shit like that, make the playoffs, and they're going to say, we did really good with this thing, and keep doing the same stupid shit.
Same stupid stuff.
Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want to get better. They want to just... How can I say it? They just want to meet their quota. They don't want to go far. They just want to meet their quota, thinking, well, we good, we all right, we don't got nothing to worry about. Go far, man. All this stuff about meeting your quota, that's
exactly
being lazy and trifling. Everybody else is...
I'm going to answer the question about Deuce. Deuce, you cannot put on the practice squad because he is a special teamer. He has to be on special teams. You cannot put him on the practice squad. But the other thing I want to look at, why are we not using Devontae Turpin? That guy got speed.
Another good question.
Yeah, another...
Why the heck are we not using Turpin? Even in the kickoff game, even in the punt return game, he's not there.
I wish I could tell you, man.
And then another thing, and this been going on for a minute. You got all these deadly weapons. Why are you not cutting these teams' throats? That's another thing that bothers me. We're America's team, man. We need to take these teams out.
Yeah, well, I wish I had answers for you guys. Like I said, I feel like I'm at a funeral right now. Can't run routes. They are insane. I blame McCarthy for not using Turpin. I agree. They're using Turpin to the extent they can. Swinging at the dirt, KC. Vaughn is a Make-A-Wish Foundation draft pick because his daddy. Oh, my God. It's also insanity for the fan base to think that they're going to build this team by free agencies and trades. They don't give us the best chance to win. That's bull. Yes, you can. It doesn't have to be Deuce. It can be Rico. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that y'all don't seem to understand. Kansas City is on the verge of maybe doing something nobody else has done. Three-peating, right?
Yep.
Cowboys, we ain't won shit. In the time since the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl, you've seen Carolina go to the Super Bowl. You've seen Tampa Bay, which was a doormat, get good, win one, get bad again, and go back and win one. You didn't see the Rams go in there and win a couple of them. You've seen all multitude of teams out there winning Super Bowls, and we've done nothing. But yet, somehow, this team is worth $2.5 billion more than anybody else, and is worth $500 million more than last year, and doing absolutely nothing. So the Joneses, I don't know how much more money they need. In that respect, they're winning. Simon Says. Oh, that was Simon Says. What's up, Simon? That's a Simon Says with the funny one with Vaughn is a Make-A-Wish Foundation draft pick because of his daddy. Ain't no lie on that one. Right. And see, and Simons has got a great point there too. Because here's the thing. You notice what always happens with us? When Dan Quinn went to Washington, we looked at Dan Quinn and said Dan Quinn was a problem. Dan Quinn sucked, man. Now we got Mike Zimmer, right? We were all on board with saying Dan Quinn sucked. Dan Quinn threw the towel in on the playoffs and everything else. And Dan Quinn is actually doing some good things. I'm not ready to say Washington is a great team yet, but he's definitely changed the culture there. And it seems like they're actually trying to do something and try and build something. If you look at the Commanders right now, forget the history, forget about what they did last year, and you see what Washington's trying to do versus the Cowboys, it's not even close. They're really trying to do something. I can't say I can't say we're trying to do anything.
I'm going to hate to say this, but Biotish is doing much better over in Washington than he did with us.
Yeah.
He is doing a whole hell of a lot better in Washington than he was with us.
At the moment, yes. So, and I'm not going to say Mike Zimmer's forgot how to coach. It's going to take time. Drew, it will take time. I bought into the thought that maybe we were a little bit better on defense with the right kind of players. But the Cowboys have done what they always do. Mozzie is playing better. I will give you that one. Mozzie is playing better. But we still don't have a lot of great defensive linemen. And without great defensive linemen, it's hard to be good on defense.
And to be honest, I think when we came out of training camp, we were just not ready for the regular season at all.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not.
And, if you don't have no defensive linemen, you don't have a first line of defense.
That's right. Now, here's the hope.
Yep.
It has Mozzie turned a corner. Did the light bulb come on with Mozzie?
I sure hope so.
And if it does, that's a big, that would be a big changer on that defense.
Yeah. I want to see what he do tomorrow night against a real line in Pittsburgh. I heard a few of that. I heard a couple, maybe 2 or 3 of their linemen is going to be out for tomorrow night's game.
Yeah,
they are.
Beat up on the offensive line.
Yeah, they have 2 linebackers that are out, D-line person, and I think a safety.
Well, if we don't take advantage of this tomorrow night, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Something is wrong because, they're much of a match unit. They're worse of a match unit than we are.
Okay, so Jeremiah Moon is questionable, linebacker. Russell Wilson is questionable. Pruitt, their tight end, is out.
Okay.
Jalen Warren, the running back, is out.
Yep.
Cornelius Patterson, running back, is out.
Oh, okay. So 2 running backs.
Alex Highsmith, linebacker, is out.
Yeah, their 2 best linebackers are gone.
Okay. Their guard James Daniels went on injured reserve on the 1st.
Okay.
On the 24th. So they lost their Corey Trace Jr. cornerback went on injured reserve. on the 24th of September.
Wow.
So,
And Indianapolis must have really beat them up last
and
week.
then September 22nd, so he'll still be out on injured reserve. Offensive tackle Tony Fontenot went on injured reserve.
Fontenot, yeah.
Yeah. So
Fontenoy.
Okay. So yeah, they're beat the hell up.
Yeah, they like Thomas said, they're the worst. Their mash unit's worse than ours.
Not that we ain't hurting
yeah.
bad, but we are definitely hurting.
Yeah. I want to see Flournoy take off tomorrow night.
Because he's got Des Bryant stuff.
That's the thing. I want to see if they use more of Cavante Turpin.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to use him as a receiver, gosh dang it, put him in the dang backfield. Use him as a running back. Use him as your RB1.
Okay.
Who is this?
Turpin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen no gadget stuff with him this year either.
No, they haven't. They maybe tried one play with him. That's it.
Well, one thing I will say, because there's been a lot made up about Mike McCarthy hasn't used a lot of stop motion, a lot of pre-snap motion, and adjustments and things. Some of that might be because CeeDee Lamb didn't get in there, and because we have so many young guys, especially on the offensive line, that they're trying to keep it a little bit simpler, until they get into a groove.
So this is what I'm kind of seeing tomorrow night on offense. You're going to see Jalen Tolbert explode as your two now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Flournoy may take a Tolbert type role. He may get you some yardage, but dang, they're going to be covering CD like nobody's, but
and that's
they'll
the problem.
probably put two people on him and dare you to go with Turpin and Flournoy and Tolbert. They will want to see what you got.
The coaching is horrible. Please give Zeke the ball more. Here's the thing that we got to cut down on the penalties too, because we actually had some really, there were a couple runs in there that were called back that Zeke actually had where he didn't look bad at all. And if we can stop, people don't seem to understand. You get a holding call, and now it's 1st and 20. It's killing your running game. It's a drive killer. So you can
only do so much on something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. It will be an interesting next 2 weeks to see what we can get going into the bye week.
Yep.
I hope. I'm thinking we will get the win tomorrow night, and against Detroit, we better get our best out there.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get our best out there.
Don't even mention Detroit right now. We got the Steelers at this moment. We cannot be looking ahead of anything.
I think we are going to be fine against Pittsburgh. I think we will hold our own against Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. It may be a tight game, 3 or 4 points. Looking at both defenses, we may give up a lot of points. This will probably be a high-scoring game, but I think it's going to be 3 to 4 points for Dallas.
I would, if they can come out with a victory, that's huge. With the way the schedule is going up here, that's huge. If we lose it, I don't want to say it spells doom, but I almost feel like it spells doom.
Yeah, it would almost be. It's possible going into the bye we're 2-5. I'm hoping we're 3-2, or not 3-2.
3-2.
Maybe 4-3.
Well,
no, 3-3. Sorry.
If we go 3-3 to our bye,
7th week.
Yeah, and then
we could be going into the bye week 3-3, at worst 2-4. At best, that would be very best 4-2. But I'm thinking 3-3 is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the bye, get everybody healthy, Make a dang trade, Jerry, while you're on the bye week, like you did to get Amari Cooper. Make us splash. Get us somebody. For God's sake,
don't hold your breath,
somebody.
bro. Don't hold your breath because Jerry ain't about to do anything.
I know. 27 million.
4 out of the next 5 are winnable, and losing Parsons will not be a big deal. That crypto coin, that's what I've kind of said too, because when you look at the teams that we face, they're more run heavy, and Micah has not been great as far as stopping the run, and so maybe that changes up what you're doing. Who knows? Maybe I'm just being hopeful.
Hey, I'm offering my services, my 500 pounds. I'll plug up. I'll take 2 people.
I could just lay there. Well, okay, I'm just gonna lay there in the middle. Good luck in dislodging me out of there.
Come to me, baby.
You go. We could pick up the phone and make deals. We wait on the phone to ring for us. Yeah, that's another one of those stupid things. Yeah. Jerry's waiting for people to go ahead and say, "Here, take this for nothing."
Exactly. Well, I got to get off, Mark. I got some things I need to do, so I will see you again.
All right.
Probably tomorrow or
next
week.
I've got some things to get ready for tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be a long day as well. But I want to get Ginger's take because Ginger's been awful quiet here after the Monday night loss. I want to get her take. Is the sky falling for the Cowboys? Look, she had to get up and throw up.
She is.
Look, she literally, I think she just threw up on that one.
No, I had to shut my door.
Okay.
You want me to opine on the Cowboys?
I'm just curious what an outsider looks at when you see our team dropping by flies and Jerry Jones, who's literally standing on the deck of the Titanic as the water starts running on his feet and says, "We're fine."
Well, okay, so D-Law's out for a bit.
He's on IR, but could be gone for 2 months.
And Micah Parsons out.
He's out. Could be.
Yeah,
he should be
claim
back
it's week to week.
He could be back for the Lions.
And you have Steelers and then
the Lions.
Detroit.
Detroit?
Yep, and then the bye week.
It's Detroit.
And they just played the Lions.
Yeah, I'm just saying, when you said that if you have no linemen, it's gonna be hell. If you guys don't have your front seven, if you get to Detroit, given that they're still healthy, Detroit,
yep,
it's gonna give you hell. Steelers,
they're beat up. They're beat up real bad too.
What's that?
Steelers are beat up real bad too.
Yeah, so it might be kind of a wire game, but Detroit. If you guys don't have your staple people, it's gonna be tough. Yep. But someone can pop out and be a star. But if Detroit, I don't know how banged up they are, but they gave it to us. They gave it to us Monday. So if your run defense is not good, they're gonna make you pay. So you just have to get healthy, I think.
Well, here's what I look at. We couldn't do any worse than what we did against Baltimore stopping the run, could we? It couldn't be any worse than that, could it?
No.
There you go.
So
yeah, that Seattle Detroit game is probably one of the best high scoring games I've seen in a minute.
I was like, man, I just was like, and they were ready too. They had this one pinned. And they had this one circled because it was like the Megatron night. Mm-hmm. They had their little black jerseys, and it was out for blood game, which was odd because I'm like, I like Detroit. I'm like, why are you bad at us? Sit your sights on San Fran. You know,
Detroit's got their calendar circled on us. Trust me.
What's that?
I said Detroit's got their calendar circled on us, the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Since for last season, yeah.
And and they had the big pitch on the jumbotron with Megatron and DK Metcalf together, saying DK Metcalf, aka Megatron Jr. and all of that. Cause they said DK, looked up to Megatron when he was a kid.
More like Julio Jones, really, but yeah. I know they compared him to Megatron. But he said he modeled his game after Julio Jones. But yeah, they were out for us. And I think one of the Detroit insiders said that this was like a bigger game for them than San Fran. And I'm like, how? We had hardly any of our defensive players on that. So they beat us while we were already down. But Geno tried to stay in it, and so did Ken Walker. But that other side was just too high octane for us to overcome. So we'll see how we fare out. But at least we'll get some of our defensive linemen back for the Giants game. But yeah, that took some air out of me the Monday night, because it was on the big screen for all to see.
Yeah.
So yeah,
y'all should run roughshod on the Giants tomorrow. Where is the game in New York City or the Pacific Northwest?
No, it's Lumen, Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And Malik Neighbors is out still, so
All right.
we should win that. But then after that, we got San Fran on Thursday night, so it's going to be a short week.
But
I saw that.
This is not the same team though right now, and the whole thing without Christian McCaffrey, they're not the same team.
and they said he may be out for a long time.
Yeah,
because
he's got problems with tendonitis in both of them.
And and you already know from the jump, it's hard to come back from from Achilles issues anyway, but tendonitis, that's a problem. That's a problem for him and a problem for San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. All right, final thoughts.
Mark, have you looked into any breakthrough on possible tickets?
I've started working on that, and I'm still trying to get a final count. I haven't been able to get a hold of Leo. I got you, I got my friend Christina from high school.
If the Eagles keep losing, we ain't going to hear from Leo ever again. I don't think he's coming back.
Okay, all right. But, yeah, I got to get a final count from everybody to see. And make sure that everybody knows that it's not going to be cheap. And are you okay with upper deck ones? Are you okay, Wade, with upper deck ones?
Yeah, that's where we got to sit.
Okay.
Space Mountain up there.
I don't have a problem because it got the big screen. And, quite frankly, if the Eagles keep losing, they may drop some more. Upper deck, I'm seeing it as low as 223.
About 390. About 390, 350, I think.
I'm seeing.
Could be wrong.
I'm looking
that's what I saw last time I checked.
I got a whole row, 313 ticket. It's right on the 40-yard line. That's upper level, but at least it's at the 40-yard line. 313 each. Row section 444.
That's not that bad.
Actually, this one's actually lower for that row. 301, and they've got seats there. Shit. Okay. Looks like it's come down a little bit. If we don't mind going the 400 range, I see actually a couple of seats in there for about the mid threes, and 445 where it's not the very, very top. We'll work on it. What I'll do is I'll do a joint email and get you guys involved. And maybe what I'll end up doing is just saying, just give me a price range and we'll figure out what we can get on them, and I just get them all. And I need to make another call to my friend Tony too.
Yeah.
So I got some work to do. All right.
Cowboys got some work to do too, Mark.
You ain't lying about that one. Now, if you got $1,400, we can have 40-yard line lower level. Front row, 1356. Right behind the visitors' bench.
Yeah, we could heckle the Eagles and Tell them how they haven't, only won one championship in 60 years, and
How much they suck.
1-3 in the Super Bowl, and
Yep.
Dak Prescott's like 20-3 against them, and all the good things.
All the wonderful things. That's all we got. It's only the NFC East. How pathetic is that? That's all we got. Oh, well. All right, good people. I got some work to do. In fact, I'm going to make some calls about the tickets and things for that game. Get in touch with my buddy Tony because he said he wanted to be involved in it too. And so on. All right. Anything else to add before we get out of here? Nothing.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. How about that damn Jerry Jones? Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Jerry may live for another 20 years, guys. Could be dealing with this for another 20 years.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what you get with them. But I don't know that losing Jerry is going to be any better.
If we lose Jerry, I hope they sell the team. To be honest with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we're all depressed, at least I have plenty of bottles of alcohol here behind me to get sauced up. Okay. Definitely have plenty of bottles behind me. Derek J is still working. I missed the show. You must be working on YouTube because it's a full-time freaking job. Twiz Digga says Jerry is my favorite owner, and Nick Sirianni is my favorite coach. Okay. Yes, sir,
Dracula.
Thomas. Yes, sir, Thomas.
Man, if we win this game tomorrow night, it'll be 2 weeks in a row. You can just go at it with
Eagle fans?
Celio.
Oh, my God. Bro.
Philly 500.
I tell you what. All the shit that I have taken from them, it was worth it just for that show right there. And if the Cowboys can beat the Eagles, oh, my God. I'll get indignant.
You had your drink in your hand. You just laughing at Philly 500, and Celio was like, "Man, what the fuck you laughing about?" And I'm saying to myself, "You lost, motherfucker. That's
we won, exactly." Yeah, and you guys are imploding, man.
Yeah, I'm like, hello. What part you don't get, Celio?
They ain't that bright, man. They ain't that bright. All righty, good people. I'm going to get to work on that stuff. I'll get in touch with you, Wade, after I just sent a text to Tony, because Tony's also helped me work on this thing too. And we'll get this thing squared away within the next couple of days on the tickets.
And then Philly was snapping. He called Dak a bitch boy and everything.
Oh, he was just losing his mind. But it was so crazy because Tuesday he texted me. He's like, "I didn't get the link for the show today." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? The show's not today." He literally, because he was like, "Oh," he's like, "I wondered why nobody was in the office today." He's like, "It's Tuesday then, isn't it?" It's like, "Yeah." He came in at 5 a.m. on the wrong day, packed his lunch and everything. I was like,
he's going through it, Mark. He's going through it.
Oh, man. It was so good. Look, Lady Libra said she even watched the
Eagles as world beaters this year.
Oh, my God. He had them at 4-0 right now.
Yeah, he had them as world beaters, and they ain't world beaters this year. That's for damn sure.
No, and their defense, oh, my God, their defense is just completely falling apart. And let me ask you before we get out of here, what did y'all think about Micah Parsons having Slay on there? At first, I was like, why are we doing this shit? But it seems like the effect to the Eagles in that locker room, that was like a mini bomb that just went off.
He literally put some of the defensive players, he literally threw them under the bus.
Yes.
Slay did.
Slay literally laughing. If I'm CJ Gardner, it's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Laughing at his own boys.
Yeah. And then having to do the walk of shame and basically apologize then the next day. That
I don't like the Micah Parsons podcast.
I don't either.
During the regular season, no. Off season, okay, I'm cool with that. Man, regular season, no. You need to shut up.
No, he need to. when the regular,
Twiz is like, get business
I agree.
decisions,
Walk
stay out of my
away.
city.
You know, the regular season come, you need to shut that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
I
Hell,
know.
I'm getting so tired of Micah Parsons. Trade his ass after next year. After just trade him.
I'm telling you that, when you talk about blowing things up, Wade, maybe it's Micah Parsons you trade.
They're going to use this as leverage. His numbers are bad this year.
That's what I'm saying.
They couldn't say, "Hey, you didn't produce last year." They could get rid of him.
And is it one of those things that now teams have figured out how to defend against them?
And me personally, I'd rather have a beast defensive lineman and a linebacker over Micah Parsons at this point.
Because he's too small to be an effective run stopper. Yeah. It's going to get interesting
Did you see Vita Vea the other night?
Oh,
he was
geez.
we need someone like that.
If we could get Mozzie to play like that, fuck.
I mean, he was literally pushing the center up into the quarterback all night long.
But he's been doing that straight out of college. He's been an absolute beast. Has had a few injuries, but when he plays, that's a difference maker right there.
That's the type of guy I need in the middle of my defense for a decade, literally.
Yep. I agree. You're preaching to the choir here. I believe in defensive linemen. Cowboys don't. Alrighty, good people. I appreciate y'all as always, and we're gonna roll up out of here. We'll be live streaming tomorrow all day, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
It's gonna be a long day tomorrow,
but that should be a good game.
Yeah. So you gonna do the game over in London too tomorrow?
Yep, I'm gonna do that one too.
The Jets and the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll be on all day long. So that's about a 14-hour day. So buckle up, strap on, and get ready.
All right. I may have to I'll be in church. I may have to pop in every 10 to 15 minutes and see what you're talking about.
Well, say a prayer for the Cowboys.
All right.
All right.
Will do.
And we are out of here.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.